on. She had my wig on. That title, you already know what time it is. Your girl is back again with another story time, and I know it's been a minute. I was supposed to drop this video, but you know, your girl been busy. I got places to go, people to see, so cut me some slack in the comment section. Before we even start this video, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. I'll wait. I got time today. I'll wait. I'm gonna wait. You did it? Okay, let's go ahead and get into this video. Y'all can already see by the title of the video where this is going to go. We're going to be talking about the time where I had a ex-roommate that was just crazy. Like, the girl was crazy. I really contemplated on posting this video. I was like, what if she sees it? I lied. I don't care. I don't care at all. This video was like from 2 years ago, so I don't need y'all trying to, FBI agents trying to figure out who the roommate was. Because in my last video, some girl found out who the person I was talking about, and she freaking DM'd the person the video, and I'm just like, why? Like, you got time. Like, you timeless. Like, you got time. So this video was from 2 to 3 years ago, and this is like an ex roommate, so you're not gonna find out who it is unless you went to fam and you know me personally. I don't care. I don't care. So let's go ahead and get into the story. So long story short, I signed my lease without actually having a roommate. I did this little roommate matching thing. On the roommate matching thing, it asks you questions like, do you smoke? Do you drink? How often do you study? Like, do you party? And y'all, I lied. Like, I wanted to be with a person that didn't do anything. So I put that I don't smoke, which I don't smoke, but I do party. I put that I don't smoke, I don't party. I basically made it seem like I was some nerdy little study girl because I wanted them to match me with roommates like that, like me, you know. I didn't want a crazy loud party animal type of roommate, so I lied on my roommate matching. I put I didn't smoke, I put I didn't party, I put like, they was like, what do you do for fun? And I put reading. I put that I read for fun because I didn't want them to give me a crazy and obnoxious roommate. And I got exactly that. Basically, my roommate found me in the GroupMe app. She was like, I live in blah, blah, blah unit and my name is blah, blah, blah. Well, I guess we should go ahead and give her a name. We're gonna name her Hungry. Y'all, she was always hungry. Not like a normal type of hungry, because I can eat too, but she was like a homeless person hungry. But she had a home, if that makes sense. A homeless person hungry, but yeah, she was like a homeless person hungry, but she had a home. But she was always damn hungry. Like, she was really, really hungry. So yeah, so me and Hungry moved in together and everything was like cool and perfect. This is also a 3-bedroom apartment. So it was me, Hungry, and one other roommate. My other roommate, I think she went to FSU and she was like barely there. Like, she was always like go home on the weekend, so we barely like really seen her. I don't even remember her name honestly because she was barely home. But me and Hungry was like always home together or whatever. When we first moved in together, everything was like smooth. We talked, we set our rules. I basically told her like, hey, I don't mind sharing food. Like, I got EBT at the time, so like, it's just me. What am I gonna do with $300 worth of EBT? So I basically told her, hey, I don't mind sharing food, but all you have to do is ask me before you eat my food. Like, that's the only rule I had. If you needed to use a hairbrush, comb, tissue, borrow some sugar, that's perfectly fine. Just ask me. Like, that's all I asked for. I just wanted her to ask me, and that was it. Everything was normal for about the first 3 to 4 months. Like, we were perfect. Like, we didn't have any issues. Like, she didn't ask for my things, I didn't ask for her things. We were pretty much perfect, like no issues. And then about the 4th month of us living together, one day I was in my room and I smelled some shit, and it smelled like somebody was smoking. So I text her and I was on some like, hey, do you smell that? And then she texted me back and she was like,
yeah, I'm sorry, but I had to light one up. I had to light one up because I'm on my cycle, and when I'm on my cycle, I have to, because I can't function without smoking.
And I was like, okay, but is there any way, because we did have a balcony, so I was like, is there any way you can smoke on the balcony or whatever? And she was like,
oh, I'm cramping and I'm not gonna be smoking in the unit all the time. I honestly only smoke when I'm on my cycle, and this basically just relieves my cramps and I need to smoke.
Blah, blah, blah. So basically, I let that slide. I should have probably went to the office immediately and told them that she was smoking in the unit, so they could have removed her out of the unit or moved me to a new unit. But I let it slide because I felt bad. Like, I'm a girl, I have cramps, I understand. So I let it slide, like, no biggie. So a couple months after that, she would smoke in the unit, but she wouldn't smoke all the time. Like, when I came home, the unit didn't smell like marijuana or anything. It didn't smell like anything. She would smoke, but she made sure the unit was clean, so it was no issues. But one day, my mom was coming into town, so I told her ahead of time. I was like, hey, my parents are coming into town. Could you make sure this specific weekend you don't smoke, or you don't have people over that smoke? Y'all not gonna believe what homegirl texted me back. She was like, why? Are your parents like cops? So you telling me 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4, and me telling you not to smoke in the unit when my parents are coming to town equals they're cops? Y'all, like, I was confused. She basically got me telling her that my parents were coming to town, so please do not smoke during this weekend, that they were cops. So I text her back and I was like, no, my parents aren't cops. I just would really appreciate if you didn't smoke in the unit during this specific weekend. I didn't tell her not to smoke. I just told her not to smoke during these specific dates. Like, my parents are coming to that town. But she got out of that my parents were cops. You stupid, stupid bitch. So that was strike 1. I thought that was really weird that she assumed that my parents were cops just because I asked her not to smoke during these specific dates. Strike 2 was when one day I was sitting in class and I get this random text. No, it wasn't a random text. It was a random Cash App I get across my phone, and it was like, Hungry sent $2. And in the description box on Cash App, it said, thank you. So I texted her and I was like, hey, Hungry, did you mean to send me $2? Because, like, she didn't say why she sent it. She just said, thank you. So I'm just like, hey, Hungry, did you mean to send me $2? And she was like, oh, yeah, I'm having a social. And if y'all don't know what a social is basically like a party, a small gathering. But in Tallahassee, for some reason, they call it a social. But it's basically a party with about 15 to 30 people, but they call it a social. But yeah, she texted me and she was like, hey girl, I'm having a social at the house and we ran out of chaser and we needed something to chase our liquor with, so we used your apple juice. Remind you, I'm in class when she texted me this, so I'm thinking like, wait, you.
Y'all, at this moment, I felt like Terry from the barbershop scene.
Who drank my goddamn apple juice?
Use my apple juice. Use my apple juice to chase liquor, but instead of asking me, hey, can I use this apple juice, you just used it and then you cashed at me the money for the apple juice. No, she didn't do that. I was thinking like, no, she didn't use my apple juice. Like, she didn't use my apple juice. So I texted her back and I was like, huh? Like, what? And then she called me and she was like,
hey, I thought it would be okay if I can use your apple juice because we ran out of liquor and I'm having a social at the house.
So you thought it was okay for you to use my apple juice? Like, you thought it was okay for you to use my apple juice?
Yeah, if you want, if it was more than $2, I'll just...
Yeah, that was strike 3. Uno, dos, tres. Yeah, strike tres. Like, strike tres. If you Spanish, you know what I'm talking about. Uno, dos, tres. Uno, dos, tres. Yeah, y'all, that was strike 3. Strike 3 and you out. So I don't remember why, but we were like getting really comfortable with each other. Like, honestly, when she was like doing weird things throughout the year, like, I didn't really have a conversation with her. I kind of just let it slide. Like, when she would do things that I didn't approve of, we never really talked about it. I would just charge it to the game, like, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. I would just kind of like rub it off or laugh it off. So on strike 3 is when, like, she would often like come in my room and say, hey, can I use your can I use your brush, or do you have any edge control? Like, you know, normal stuff. Or did you, like, if she ran out of toothpaste, she asked for toothpaste, or if she ran out of tissue, she asked for tissue. Nothing's wrong, like just normal roommate, housemate stuff. But I will always let her use my stuff or whatever. But we started to get comfortable to the point where she thought it was okay for her to come in my room when I was in there. And I never knew of her to do anything, I don't know, I never knew of her to do anything like really untrustworthy. So I stopped locking my room door. Like when I first moved in the unit, I used to always lock my room door when I left, but about 5-6 months in, I just stopped locking my room door. I would leave and I would just lock the house door. I didn't lock my room door. So she would text me and stuff while I'm at class or at friend's house, and she was like, hey, can I use your edge control, or hey, can I use this or whatever? And I would always say, yeah, sure, like no big deal. So one day she was, the same day that she texted me, and she was like, hey, can I use your, I don't know what she basically asked to use, but she asked to use something of mine, and I told her, yeah, that's fine, cool, go ahead and use it. She used it or whatever, and then this was on a Thursday. If you live in Tallahassee, you know, like if you know, you know. There's something called a Q social on Thursdays, and this was basically like a fraternity party that the Qs would throw. And it was just a party, it was a lit party, and I went to the party or whatever. But that day when I went to the party, I got ready at my homegirl's house. I didn't go back home, so I didn't know who had been in my room. Well, I knew she was in my room because she texted me that same day asking me, can she use my edge control? And I said, yeah, that's cool. So that same day, later that night, I went to a Q social. And when I was at the Q social, I'm like grinding, bumping, like having fun, you know, just vibing. Me and my girls, like we vibing, we chilling. And I see my roommate, and I'm like, hey, hungry, like, hey, girl, like, I'm like, hey. And y'all, why she looked at me like she seen a ghost? Like, her head was like this. Like, soon as I was like, hey, hungry, she was like her head seemed like she'd seen a ghost. So I'm like, okay, like I'm asking my homegirl, like, did y'all see that? Because that was really weird. Like, she didn't say hey to me. She kind of just like turned her head really fast, and she went the opposite way. So we still at the party or whatever. Hours go by, and it's time for us to go home. Y'all, tell me why, as I'm leaving the party, why do I see hungry with my wig on? She had my wig on. She had my wig on. Y'all, she had my wig on. I'm leaving the party to go back to the car, and I look and I see her with my wig on. And y'all want to know how I knew that this is my wig? Because I like big dramatic hair. Like, I wear big hair, and I had this super duper big like afro wig, and she had the wig on. Like, she really had my wig on. So when I seen her with my wig on, I didn't text her or call her anything because I wanted to be for sure. It was late at night, but like soon as I seen her, I never seen her with a wig on like that. So I automatically knew that it was my wig. So what I did is hurried up and went home. And when I went home, definitely got home, but I wanted to make sure I got home before her so I can confirm if she had my wig. So I went to my bathroom. I went through my I have like a drawer with all my wigs and hairs and just different pieces and accessories. I went in my bathroom and I went to go look for my wig, and y'all, my wig was not there. So I'm thinking like, oh yeah, when she get home, it's popping. Like, this strike 3, this strike tres, uno, dos, tres, this strike tres. Like, I'm not letting her slide. Like, this third strike and you out. So this time I'm confronting her. So I'm talking to my friends. I'm like, girl, I got home and my wig was not there. She took my wig. So I'm like pissed, like I'm done or whatever. So I'm hyped, I'm pissed. I'm waiting for her to come home. But y'all, how about sis never came home? Sis didn't come home that night. I don't know why she didn't come home, but she didn't come home that night. So I ended up texting her about it. I sent her this long paragraph. If I have the screenshots, I don't know if I still have a thread between her and my phone, because this was like 2 years ago when we were roommates. But if I do have the screenshots, I'm going to put it in the video right here. But basically, I texted sis and I was like, hey, when we were at the party, it was kind of weird. When I said hey to you, you didn't say anything. And then when I was leaving to get in my car, I seen that you had a wig on that looks exactly like my wig. And then when I got home, my wig was not in my wig container. Like, do you have my wig? Like, can I have my wig back? Y'all not gonna believe what homegirl texted me. She basically came up with an excuse and was like,
I was having a hair crisis and my hair wouldn't swoop and da 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 da, and I couldn't find anything. Like my edges wouldn't swoop, the edge control wasn't working, and I seen your wig and I was gonna text you and ask you, can I borrow it for the night? And I was planning on giving it back. Like I don't want you to feel like you stole.
About 3 or 4 more months with living with this girl, and I'm the type of person, I don't want to live with somebody if it's awkward. Like when I come in the house and I see you and you see me, I'ma speak. Like no matter what we going through, it's just weird. Like I didn't want to live in an uncomfortable situation. So anytime I seen her in the house or she had company, I would speak to her, and I just didn't want it to be awkward. So I didn't let strike 3 slide. I addressed the situation, but I didn't treat her any differently. Like after that happened, we were still cool. Like I didn't treat her any differently. We talked about it. She apologized. I started locking my room door back, but I let it slide. Like I let it slide. I let it slide. But yeah, that happened or whatever, and we kind of became back cool. Like I told you, I didn't treat her any differently. This was the 4th strike, and this was the last strike. Like this was the 4th strike. Like this was Hungry's last strike. After this time, I looked at sis differently. So like a month or 2 after that situation, I had this really like hot pink robe. I don't know if y'all know, but it's from Victoria's Secret. It's like super duper hot pink. Like it's like a fluffy hot pink robe. It's a fluffy hot pink robe. I'm gonna put it in the video if I can find a picture of it. I used to always wear this robe because I don't like sleeping with clothes on, so I used to wear my robe at night. So one day my robe was like missing for like a few weeks, and I'm like, maybe it lies behind the washer, or maybe I left it at somebody's house. Like I just thought my robe was missing or whatever, and I thought that was weird or whatever. One morning I came to her room. I knocked on her room door, and I think I needed to borrow like some tissue, or I don't know what I needed to borrow. I needed to borrow something. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I had an 8 a.m. class. So I knocked on her door and I was like, hey, can I borrow some da da da? And y'all, when she opened the door, I don't know if she didn't expect it to be me or who she expected it to be. Like, boo, like, hello. I don't know who she expected to be, but she opened the door wide and she was like, yes. And then I immediately looked down at her because I seen her with my hot pink robe on. So she opened the door and I looked down like this, and then she was like, yeah. And then I was like, hey, can I use your toothbrush? Or did you see, I don't remember what I was asking her for, but I was like, hey, can I use your toothbrush or something like that? And she was like, oh yeah, I'll bring it to you. And she shut the door. She has never done that. It's been times where she comes to my room to ask for something, or I'll come for her room to get something back that she has asked for, and she always just say, oh yeah, come in and get it. But this time she was acting like really shady. And she shut the door and she was like, yeah, I'll bring it to you. And let me show y'all how she brought the whatever I asked for back. She was like this. She put her hand through the door and she was like, huh. She was like, huh. So I thought that was like weird or whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, this was my favorite robe. Like I'll die about this robe. I'll fight for this robe. So I immediately like I went in my room and I was talking to myself. Like I had a pep talk with myself. I'm like, Asia, this is not your robe. This is not your robe. You tripping. This is not your robe. She wouldn't do that. She's bigger than you. She cannot possibly fit into your robe. Like this is not your robe. So I'm like talking to myself like, this not your robe. Like you tripping. Like you hallucinating. This cannot be your robe. I grew enough courage and I went to her room door and I knocked and I was like, hey, is that my robe? And she still had it on, and she was like, no, this is not my robe. I got this from blah, blah, blah back in 2012. And I'm just like,
are you sure? Because my robe has been missing and I haven't had my robe for weeks.
And all of a sudden you come out with a pink furry robe. And she was like, no, this is my robe, da da da, this is not your robe. And she was really consistent. Like she was saying like, this is her robe, she got it then. She was giving me details on who got her the robe. So I left it alone. I'm like, okay, she said it's not her robe, let it be, Asia, just let it go. Maybe your robe will show up in due time. So that happened or whatever. I called my friend and I was like, girl, she had my robe on like this. I'm going to the office, I'm telling them about this, that, and the third. Like I'm done playing with her. Like I'm telling them what's up. So My friend was like, no, maybe that she know that you caught her, maybe she'll return the robe, so you should just give it a few days. So after class that day when I came back home, I looked in the dryer. I'm like, maybe she gonna try to act like my robe magically appeared, so maybe she gonna put it in the dryer, or maybe she gonna put it behind the dryer. I'm just thinking all of a sudden my robe is just going to appear. So I was like, all right, let me just leave it alone. Y'all, so every day for a week after class, when I got home, I checked behind the dryer, I checked in the dryer, I checked, like, I'm just checking all around the house, because I'm thinking maybe she gonna try to seem like my robe was always there, but she's gonna put it back in a way that I won't think she stole it. But y'all, nothing happened. Like, I didn't find my robe or anything until one day when I came home. She put my robe on the doorknob of my the door. Like, my robe was just there. And then she texted me and she was like, hey, I found your robe between the couch cushions or something dumb. And I'm just like thinking, like, you couldn't have found my robe between the couch cushions, because I checked every day for a week. Like, it's impossible. You had my robe, sis. Like, if you watch this video, give me back my robe, give me back my wig. Well, you gave me back my wig, but I need a new wig for you taking my wig. Like, signing out. Y'all get the point. This was just a time when I had a horrible roommate. There's plenty other situations I could have mentioned in this video, but the video is kind of already lengthy, so we just gonna stop here. If y'all want to see more story times, you definitely better hit that like button and subscribe, and let me know what was your favorite part of the story. Let me know if you ever had a crazy roommate. Like, just let me know, because I know I can't be the only one dealing with these type of things. But peace. I'll see you guys in my next video.